Welcome to today's convening of the Creative Consultants. I'm your host, or one of your hosts, Matt, Chief Content Consultant.
And I am Trudi, the other one of your hosts, Chief Communication Consultant.
And firstly, welcome back to Season 3.
Season 3, woo!
Woo!
We made it.
We did it. The third season's where it all starts falling apart. If you're lost or if you're whatever. But Lost is the one I went to. I'm like, yeah. And then they went, we got to wrap this up, and kind of came up with the conclusion.
Well, on one side, but then on the other side, I noticed that there are some things that are like ropey in Season 1. Like we're watching things about couples therapy at the moment. Season 1, ropey. Season 2, getting into it. Season 3, bing,
True.
They hit their stride.
Parks and Rec, The Office, they all got better.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll put a pin in it.
Great.
Today's episode, I'm very excited because I get to deep dive into everything that makes up my lovely co-host here, Trudi, and what makes you tick. But first, as is custom, we need to start with a quote.
I cannot wait.
I've got one that I think you're going to be very familiar with, but this will test you. Necessity may be the mother of invention, but play is certainly the father. Roger von Oak, I think.
Roger von Oak.
I'm not sure.
I am familiar with that. In fact, I've got about 750 postcards with that statement.
I was going to say
in my drawer.
I was going to say, but I think it leads. And look, let's ignore the mother father part of it. I think they're both good parents to the creation of new ideas. But I think it was the perfect quote to start today's conversation because you are. If I think of play, I think of you.
Yes.
And what an amazing thing to be connected to. But I'm interested in like. Why? Why is this what you've chosen to pursue in your life and your mission to share with the world? Big question to start with.
It's a big question. Let's just ease into Season 3. Boom. I think I hit a moment in my life where I really had some time. There was this like little pandemic thing, and I had some time where sort of everything fell away. And it really life just sort of made me go, actually, you're going to really condense down what you are all about, what you love, what you think your mission is, what you think you're good at. It's almost like I ikigai myself.
Oh, yeah.
And what came out was this mission about play and my deep belief in how important I think it is and how underutilized it is.
I mean, we've known each other for what, close to 10, 15 years?
I was
maybe?
thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I think it's like 15 years.
Yeah, a long time, like a very long time.
Yes.
And I've always known you as a very playful, creative, spontaneous, individual.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But I'm curious, like, there's always that talk of taking a hobby or a passion and turning it into your work. Yep. What made you, outside of like the kind of the pandemic-y stuff that we're talking about, like made you go, you know what, this is a career path that I want to pursue?
For years, I avoided saying the word play for years. And what happened was I spent 5 years as a Starlight captain at the Royal Children's Hospital for the Starlight organisation, which is still to this day one of the best jobs I think I've ever had.
Yeah.
And over that time period, it really taught me the power of play and how play can be used for much more than really play in really serious situations and unexpected places.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I came to this moment in my life where I had no sort of direction. I couldn't really get a job. I'd had a company I'd stepped away from. I was sort of in this sort of state of flux, and I was exhausted. And somebody said to me, "What do you do for a living?" And because, to be quite frank, I didn't have too many to give, I said, I teach adults how to play. And they went, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it was the first spike of going, oh, hang on a second. Could I take what I was doing and learning and the practice that I used at Starlight and throughout my life? Is that needed and wanted in organizations? And I know it is, but I just wasn't sure that the business world was ready for play.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, the more I put it out there, the more everybody said, actually, this is what we need.
Yeah.
So it was almost like it had to wait for its moment and then popped out at exactly the right time.
And is that kind of thing like you'd accumulated all of these skills and learnings and approaches throughout your life and you were just primed to be in that position to jump in on it and share it?
Yes.
So my research leading up to today, I had my people look into your background.
See me squirm?
Well, you've had a lot of jobs.
I have had a lot of jobs. I'm willing to out myself. I used to be so ashamed of this. I used to hide in a corner and not want to reveal it. But now I am okay. I am a recovered jobaholic.
All right. Share just some numbers and some like highlights throughout your I was going to say esteemed, but let's go
Illustrious?
illustrious career.
Yes,
Yeah.
illustrious. I have had over 48 jobs.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And so let me give you a little broad range of the kind of jobs that I have done. I have worked in like a promotional company, that make all like your pens and
Yeah.
I have worked in a 5-star resort where I served pancakes to ex-First Lady of
Ooh.
the USA.
Oh, wow.
I have worked in a bikie bar where I had someone come in swinging a hammer.
That surprises me. Not the hammer part, that you working in a bar.
Do you know, it was really good. I was only just 18.
Yeah.
And it was a really great learning space for life.
Can I just a slight tangent?
Go
here.
on.
Do you have to sign like a non-disclosure agreement or anything when you work there? Because I'm sure you're like privy to some interesting conversations and goings on, or is it just like, no, you got a job? Like how legally protective of their own business are they inside an establishment like that?
Well, do you know what? There's I won't say which group it was.
Yeah.
Just for, it was a lot of years ago, but still. But actually there's like this sort of weird code of ethics that happens. So even though there were women that came in that they would treat quite badly, in my opinion, the barmaid you always gave high respect to.
Yeah, right.
And so there was this like freedom of chatting. There was a clubhouse where all of the tips in the bar went to one of their members in prison every month. But then they raised money for sick children in hospital. So it was like this weird subculture.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there was it taught me a lot about in-groups and out-groups.
Yeah.
And I had this really clear, my mum, I was just turned 18, came down to see me work, and I just have this memory of one of the leader of the gang with his arm around mum saying, Trudi, always be good to your bloody mother. And my mum, like, slightly pale, my working environment. But it was a good lesson in life.
I mean, it teaches you lots, right?
And that humans are humans.
Yeah.
Like, we had a pedophile and we had all sorts of characters that would come in and out. And it taught me a lot about life very early.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What else is part of this?
So what else have I done? I've taught chocolate making workshops. I can tell you so many boring facts about chocolate.
Great.
I've been an elf in the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
I have travelled around Australia and New Zealand performing shows in schools.
Yeah.
I have been one of those demonstrator ladies at the supermarket that offers you samples.
Yeah.
I have worked in a lot of sales, telesales, like really hardcore cold calling telesales roles.
Yeah.
Recruitment. I've worked in as a PA, as a secretary. I was once a secretary to a music champion.
Right.
I've worked as a temp on a Harley Street medical clinic, like in London, those really fancy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So I've certainly had a range of. I've been a suit character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So just to completely put you on the spot there,
Yep.
you've had quite a diverse range of experiences.
Yes.
If you had to boil it down to say the top 3 things that you've taken away from that you still use or like think about or have helped sort of formed the way you approach the work you do in play and organizations now, what would they be? Just gut reactions.
So this took me a while to get together. And I realised that because all of this was sort of happening as a B-roll during my acting career.
Mm-hmm.
And what it taught me is that I am extremely good at going into an organisation and getting the lay of the land really quickly, understanding the culture, understanding the people, understanding the processes. Particularly as a role play actor, I worked out that I have been into over 100 organisations. And that is walking into an organisation and very quickly learning the lingo, the vernacular, the culture, the problems, the communication issues. So that adaptability is intrinsic in me. It has had to be across my 48 jobs.
Yeah.
So I would say that is probably the key thing. And that works that's a very strong vein in the work that I do in play, is this being able to adapt playfulness to an organisation.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing. And then the second thing? The question again?
The top 3 things
that I've learned?
That you've learned.
That problems are the same in any organisation. Right? Whether I've worked in construction, I've worked in hospitality, I've worked in sales, I've worked in insurance, worked in banking, problems are always the same.
Yeah.
They're problems with people. So it has taught me that actually before you do anything with process, look at the people. That's really intrinsic. And the third thing that it would have taught me is that actually there is always a way to be playful. Because when you are suddenly stuck in a job and an organization and an environment and a culture that you don't know but you have to get across really quickly, you sink or swim.
Yeah.
And so I learned very quickly that you can be playful no matter where, no matter how.
Yeah.
Even in really mundane jobs, even if you're selling life insurance to people in a cold calling environment, you can make it playful.
Yeah. That's so cool. And like, I mean, it's obviously everybody is the sum of their experiences up until, you know, the point that they're at.
Yeah.
But I think it's so cool that you've had such an interesting background and job career path that you've just then it's all been distilled down to these really like core principles that I see so strongly in you. And I reckon that, you know, I've never been in an employment situation where I've looked to hire you, but it would be those things that stand out as like, you know, it's the people focus. It's all of the stuff you just mentioned that like comes out so strongly. So I think like that's why we started this episode and went, you are play. I think of you and the two connected. It's like, yeah, you live that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, you're so welcome.
Oh, thanks. That feels amazing. Yeah. Do you know, it took me a long time to put it together.
Yeah.
Because people were like, well, you do this, you know how to come into an organization and make it playful. How do you do that? And it was a good question. I was like, how do I do that? When I, once again, unpeeled, I love to unpeel and unpack. Where does this come from?
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah. So you mentioned just at the end there where like even in some of the dullest organizations, you can still be playful.
Yes.
One of the things I was thinking about before this conversation was like, there's probably people listening to this going, this sounds awesome and I love this idea, but I'm not creative. I'm not playful whatsoever.
Yes.
Like what are some tips or some like first steps to kind of embracing play in their own lives and not necessarily in an organization, but just from a personal, you know, approach to what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest to somebody at that stage?
I have boiled it down after many, many years and many, many university researchers' papers down to 3 questions. Come back to those 3 questions. Yeah. Why not, and what if? Ooh. Particularly the what if. Yeah. That's like my favorite one. What if this just happened? Somebody accused me the other day of just not breaking boundaries, but just pushing them to see where they bend.
Yeah.
What if? Like, so if no matter what you're doing, if we were sitting here and like, I was like, what if I pushed Augie, my monkey, onto your dog? Like, what would happen? Looking at possibility. I say now that I work in play, people, and possibility.
Oh, that's juicy. That's a clip. That's a clip.
Dun, dun,
right
dun.
There. If this isn't on LinkedIn right now, I don't know what is. Come on.
Yeah, and they're my realms. So if you're sitting there and you're bored and you're at work and you're doing something ridiculously mundane, what if? What if you do something different? What if you, and it only has to be a little bit different to spark something new and exciting in you.
Yeah, that's so cool. Is there I guess a specific example you could think of where you've seen that happen for somebody? Like again, you worked in hundreds of organizations. Yeah. Is there a moment that you can like look to that like I saw that spark go for somebody and you're like, yes, this is what it's all about?
Yes. Yes, actually. So I work one of the telemarketing jobs. If anyone's ever done telemarketing in sales, it is hard yakka.
Yeah.
You are lucky if you get one person to talk to you in 60 calls. And I had a gentleman next to me who was having a really hard time. He'd moved to London. He was not happy. And he was having a really hard day. And I thought, okay, what can we do here to spice things up? So we wrote down some random words. I asked him, we made a little list of words. And the goal was to get all 5, it was like bingo, like conversation bingo, to try and get all 5 words into one sales conversation. Yeah. And it was just the smallest thing, but we ended up laughing hilariously. We ended up making more sales than we would have that day because we had a new energy to us.
Yeah.
And we had a great day. And I hope he's doing well.
Yeah. That's great. That's so fun. When you decided to pursue this as a career.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges you were faced when you kind of went, guys, I'm coming into this organization, we're going to play. What were you met with? What are you still seeing today?
I'm surprised you asked that question, Matt. Nobody finds play in organizations challenging. Nobody. No, I still do. So it's one of those things that everybody says, oh yeah, we really want it. We think it's great, but we don't really want it at work.
Yeah.
But we do want it at work, but we don't want it at work. So, so yes, it is constantly challenging. But I know this stuff works. I know how to do it. And I truly believe that it can make huge differences to people, whether they are women in prison, whether they are people who are about to die, whether they are CEOs, whether they are tram drivers, doesn't matter. I know this stuff works. So it gives me the inspiration to keep pushing and keep finding ways to help organizations understand what this can do for them, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. Before we wrap up the episode,
go on.
The last thing I'd love you to share is like, so one of the things I often think about in my own career and life and whatever is like, it's the little moments where you see the impact you make at that really like micro level, right?
Yes.
And it can become quite overwhelming when you start thinking about it on like a larger scale and going, geez, I'm having all these conversations and years of work and life and stuff. This is a big question.
Go on, go on. I'm so ready. Hang on, let me just adjust and get ready. Go.
Ready?
I'm ready.
What do you hope the impact of your work is on the people you get to work with? What do you hope stays with them for the rest of their lives?
I love this question. One of the reasons that I was drawn to this work is to watch it spark up things in people. The way they view the world, the way they approach what they're doing. We have one life, it's very short, it's very tender, and I hope that people take away a new set of tools to look at how they're living their life and to get the most joy out of it. I went to an organisation recently. I was I think I haven't been there for almost 12 months, maybe over 12 months. And when I went back, my notes and my Post-its were still on their wall, and they purposefully left them there because it inspires them to keep enjoying what they're doing. That is the key. I
love that. You're an amazing person, Trudi. I think you're awesome.
Thank you.
And I'm so thankful we get to share this.
Look, I'm so great that we get to sit here in our jammies together.
Let's not explain why.
Let's not explain why. It's not important. What's important is this chat.
Now, last question. How do we end this?
Done.
Done?